So with this video, we are at week 5 with braces. And for those 4 of you that have been subscribed up to this point, at which point I say thank you for being interested in what I talk about. You might notice something a little bit different about me. Could be the beard, could just be, I don't know what else. But the reason for that is because I'm literally recording this hours before I intend to upload it. All the videos I've done prior to this, they've been previously recorded weeks and weeks ago. So I'm currently on week 10 or 11 with these braces. And I decided to do that because I realized the motivation to get these videos going, the pressure that I was putting on myself with recording the video, then editing it, and then putting it online, all within a week time span, was a lot. And if you hear my voice, I'm sorry, I'm getting over something. But I realized that pressure that I was putting on myself to get it all done within a week, the planning, the recording, the editing, and the uploading, was it was too much. So I decided to break it down by recording these videos weeks in advance. So I would literally record and then not worry about it, and then record the next week and not worry about it. And then slowly I would get to the process, and then if I would get into a mood or a motivation stint, I would edit a few videos at a time, upload it all, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it. I would decide then to do videos like this, which would happen spontaneously. I would tell myself I would record it, edit it, do the thumbnail, upload it within a much shorter time frame, more as a challenge to myself, to work myself up to getting into the mood of doing things like that. Because I think we need to constantly give ourselves challenges like that, push ourselves beyond what we think are the limits of ourselves, just to see how we do. And then sure, there may be a risk of not doing as well as we intended to do, or even succeeding, for ourselves. But that gives us a chance to really see, right, that we push ourselves to the limits to see how well we do. And then we adjust, we learn what our limits are, and we learn the areas that we need to grow. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video. There were a few journal entries that I've done. One of them, talking about this idea that when we focus on ourselves, obviously we're focusing on our own subjective growth, the things that we need to work on within ourselves, the interpersonal relationships, our work ethic, our discipline, whatever it is. But I think there's something to be said that if we just rely on ourselves to focus on our own growth, we might be limiting just how far we can go. I think we need to also learn to reach out to others, to see how others have done it, because that way we start to gain a perspective that's outside of our own world. It's like venturing into a brand new forest, a brand new territory. We're more than willing and welcome to go into the forest and figure it out for ourselves, but how better would it be for someone who has gone through it to say, this is what I see as the safest path. I know if I go over here, I tend to see a lot more wild animals that could potentially harm me. So best to stay on this side of the forest, right? And again, that's more guidance, not hard, fast rules that we should take from people, because everybody's experience is different. Maybe their time in the forest was during a different season, and now our time in the forest, the beasts are going to be in different parts of the forest, for lack of a better term, using that metaphor. But I think that if we learn to be brave enough to open ourselves to others, to share the struggles that we are seeing to someone that we trust, that we believe can listen to us, that can validate our feelings, that can empathize with us. Sometimes it's a therapist, sometimes it's a family member, sometimes it's a sponsor, in a program that we're in. We not only get it out there, but we let the other person know and validate for us that yes, the things that you are experiencing are worth, thinking about. And I get where you're coming from. And I think I see that, when I look back, as I've kind of gone through that forest and done the exploration and done my trials, I take a stance like I am today, where I'm recording this video instantaneously, and I look back on the progress I've made. The metaphor that I'm using for this channel is that I have braces. I've had these for about almost 2.5 months now. They just actually replaced these wires. So now I have thicker wires, and I'm feeling my teeth shift even more. It's almost like these teeth are, they feel loose. They feel really uncomfortable, and I'm realizing I have to change my diet even more. I'm still on the smoothies. I'm, going to soups more because I realize I can't bite down like I normally can to chew. But I still look back and look how far I've come. Look, look at all the crap that I went through, whether I intentionally put myself through it to challenge myself or just the crap that just kind of came in my life. And I decided for myself, I'm still going to push through. I still have to put myself through this. And I think that puts that into perspective, that when I see the challenges in front of me, the forest in front of me that I have to explore or that I need to go through to get to where I want to go to, I say, how is this different from the forest in the past? And in most cases, it's not that different. It's still an exploration. There are still the same levels of risk that I had in the past, and I know that it is more possible for me to get through it now because I know the kinds of challenges that are going to be coming in front of me, right? Like, I still have a battle with getting to the gym off and on. And today I just decided to go and sign up for the gym, partly because, there's this Black Friday sale going on. As I'm recording this, it's Thanksgiving week coming up later in the week. So I was able to take advantage of that. That was motivation for me to go sign up for the gym, go work out. And that in itself, helps get your mind in the right place. Like I was putting off this video, I had all day yesterday that was off and I decided to just use it to relax and watch a movie, take a nap, meet some friends. And I could have easily taken that time to sit down, record this video and start the editing process. But working out, that in itself is an extraneous activity, and you can see that as a kind of forest you're pushing yourself through. And you see, well, damn, if I was able to do this, then what's sitting in front of the camera and talking for a little bit and then moving the mouse around the screen to edit the video and then upload it? What difficulty is that other than the time that we give? And I think to that point, the time that we give to ourselves to focus on the challenges that we need to go through, I think that's really meaningful for ourselves too. A lot of times we ask ourselves, what is the purpose of life? Well, we don't want to live to work. We want to work to live. So we want to learn to enjoy the positives of life, right? Which means we want to enjoy the time with our family, the time with our friends, and the time doing the activities that we enjoy doing. And I think that's what the headspace I was in yesterday. So I don't think there's anything objectively wrong with that. But I think we also need to dedicate time to ourselves, to challenge ourselves, to read different viewpoints, to understand where people are coming from. And that's kind of how I'm looking at today, getting the chance to record this video and then go to the gym. Thursday I was watching this football game because I'm in fantasy football, and it was a really entertaining game. It was close. It started snowing during the second half. And I was still asking myself, can I spend my time better? I'm choosing to sit down and relax and watch this football game. But I know that there are other things that I need to do. I currently have to study for my clinical exam that I'm studying for right now. So I have to spend time doing that. Should I be spending time on that? Should I be spending time on editing these videos? I think knowing how to spend our time wisely, that's where wisdom comes in. One of those 4 virtues of, the Stoicism. That is one of the more difficult things that we need to continuously explore and learn about. Some days I think it's better spent relaxing and giving ourselves a break. And then other days it's better spent on us challenging ourselves with doing the activities that we know we should be doing, even though we don't feel like doing it. And I think that's a skill in itself, learning when we don't feel like going to the gym, when we don't feel like doing the activities that we need to do, how do we push ourselves through it? Because we know the long-term goals are better for us than the short-term goals of sitting down and enjoying, a good meal or TV. And again, I think that's a personal journey. That's a personal exploration that we all need to go through. I don't think there's a hard set rule on how to spend our time. And I think that if there is, I think it's, we probably haven't found it yet. But whether there's an appropriate ratio to enjoying your time and spending work, I haven't done that research, but maybe someone out there has proposed a theory on that. But I think we should be taking time each and every day to focus on ourselves. Like if you look at people who practice a religion, right? Religion brings spiritual guidance towards them, and they pray every day. They go to church or the synagogue or the temple weekly, right? People who are in recovery programs, they have a sponsor that they can call. They go to meetings consistently because they need that constant reminder. They need to look at themselves every single day and say, how am I going to focus on myself? How am I going to improve myself? And I think that's why I journal every day. I take the time every morning to not only just get my thoughts down, but I ask myself, what am I going to be doing today to make myself a better person than I was yesterday? And there's that phrase, if you improve yourself 1% every single day, then in a year's time, you would have improved 37 times over. I don't know I know that's how it is on numbers. I don't know how accurate that is on, in a human standpoint, but you get the idea, right? We always want to be stepping forward to make ourselves more brave, to make ourselves more courteous, more compassionate towards others, and just wiser people in general. So that's what I'll leave it with you this week. Again, just ideas off the top of my head. Next week, we should be going back to our regularly scheduled program of videos being recorded in the future, or in the past, rather. And I will get to editing those. So again, for those of you who watch this and have gotten to this point in the video, thank you for listening. And I hope you guys just continue to improve and focus on yourselves. So take care.